Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Not the workshop in Cumbria, but the one in Mayfair, 11 St George Street in London. And we're here in the back, socially distanced, between the board with my good friend David.
Definitely 2 metres apart.
Definitely 2 metres apart. We've had a little wander down the street today. We've had a couple of words with a few people, but we thought we'd just invite you back here. What prompted it really was David was just telling me that this cutting board had its last coat of varnish about 90 years ago, but you did it the other week or something, David, so it's you know, I'm quite privileged to be
This is one of the oldest cutting boards in London. It is a cutting board that is nearly 4 yards in length and literally is coming up to being 100 years old.
There you go.
So your elbow being on
I feel safe.
It's an honour.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
feel
not going
safe.
anywhere. And hopefully that's like all of our business together. It's going to keep going despite the hardships we're under at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. We were just talking and David reminded us of a lovely story. There's lots of changes going on, there's lots of hardship with business, and we get that. And of course, when we come out of this, we'll be wanting to get clients and, you know, and get our old clients and new clients. But it wasn't always like that. I remember, as well as David remembers, when clients, it was like a reversed train of thought in those days. You had to be recommended and we had to know you. The tailoring shop down the road when I was at Anderson's, we effectively had bouncers on the door. But David's just going to tell this lovely story which he regaled us with a moment ago, about the clubs and such like. So I'll let you tell that story.
Well, we were in a situation where any new customer had to be recommended through basically 2 existing customers, and those customers literally were personally guaranteeing the quality of said person. Once that person became a customer, the first thing and really the key thing you asked for was which club they were a member of. And that was it. Anything that was delivered would go to their club. If they came into the shop and collected a finished garment, that would be it. You would issue the account after collection, never at collection. And then maybe 4, 5, 6 months later, you might get paid. If you hadn't got paid by that stage, you would send a polite reminder. And if it got to about a year, the ultimate situation would be to pop the bill round to the club. Now, the secretary for the club would always honour the member's bill. You may lose the customer, you would always get paid. And that way was how we operated for many a year. And it's a fascinating way that we've now changed the system with customers that you know, we would never base our credit on that system.
Yeah. Well, David went on to tell us a little bit this whole sort of discreteness of the business. I mean, just look around me. I mean, these are institutions, and we never talk about clients, the sort of people that come here. Okay, we'd all discuss it down the pub and having a glass of wine in the back room at the end of the day, but it's never used as an advertising tool, that's for sure. And David just told us a lovely story, again, with a little quick one, about 2 clients that you had here at the same time.
Well, we back in the just during the Second World War, just after the Second World War, had a particular customer who wasn't fondly regarded, but he was an American ambassador to London. And he had 1 or 2 sons who popped into the shop on many occasions. And in later years, one of those sons happened to become a president. Now, at the same time, we had another customer who ended up becoming a prime minister of this country. The 2 are, through marriage, related. And we like to think that at that time, obviously not as we are today, but at that time, discretion was such that the 2 customers would not have known that they were coming to the same tailor. Of course, these days we're far less discreet and the story can now be told.
Well, Well, there you have it. It's a little look into 11 St George Street. It's a nice world. You can probably see it's a nice environment here. Hopefully the doors are going to open up soon and you can come and visit us for real. That's if we get a couple of references. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're gunning for our 100th anniversary, which is year after next. So
that's going to be a big party.
So
thank you, and lovely to see you, and talk again soon. Take care. Bye bye.
That cutting board there has been there for 98 years, and I only just got completely re-oiled last year.
Oh well, that's
during the first lockdown. I spent a month doing that, going through every imperfection. Yeah.
Has it been appreciated?
Yeah, and I've still got the purchase invoice for it. And
right.
the fact, here's a bit of boring trivia, and you're really starting to get me going. When we had to work out how to pay for the Second World War and pay for all the weapons you were sending over to us, it was cost us quite a bit of money.
Overpriced, by the way.
You know, overpriced. You know, we didn't have much, but we had to get it. But the way they raised tax in 1940 was a property tax. But it was based on inventory, what you actually had in your premises. And every property had a valuer go round and say, right, you've got this, 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 and they assessed your fixtures and fittings and said that's the property tax you've got to pay. And so that we had to pay tax on that for the war effort.
Yeah.
So converting it into an internet proposition was a swingers club.
Right.
Called Alice in Wonderland. It is now
Oh, that's
online.
a good name. I like that.
Alice in Wonderland. She, bless her heart, she was on this board, and poor old Bob's jaw was absolutely hanging out because she was spilling out everywhere. And she said, "Wouldn't it be lovely if we did our launch party here?" So I said, "Well, just how far do you go in these swingers parties? Because what goes on in the fitting room stays in the
I was going to
fitting
say,
room."
what happens in 11 St
Yes.
George Street stays in 11
But,
St George Street.
yeah, so that was pretty close.